Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of War Machines. So last time we concluded Heat A, where we got to see Malice punch their ticket into the grand final. Here today we will start Heat B, where 12 more robots will make their debut and look to punch the next ticket into the grand final. Let's go ahead and introduce all those robots and then get to the action. And here they are. So at the top of the list, we have Breakerbox, a veteran to War Machines with their effective lifter. Next, we have the former runner-up, Cobalt, with their dangerous vertical spinner that has already caused a huge amount of chaos in previous seasons. Following that, we have another veteran to War Machines, Death Roll, a former semi-finalist who looks to tear up the competition. Right below, we have the first rookie of this set, Double Tap, who looks to bring the pain through that horizontal spinner. Following that, we have Drizzle and that massive vertical spinner. And then the last on that side, we have the rookie contender Glitch, who looks to win and plow through their opponents through the use of that egg beater. On the other side, we have one of the first two clusterbot teams to debut this season, where Jaeger is going to make their first appearance here at War Machines with their variety of robots. Following that, we have a King of Bots horizontal spinner, Pixel Hunter. Then next, we have Red from the Flames, who looks to dominate through those wedges, as well as that spear and flamethrower. Following that is a returning clusterbot contender, Rusted in Pieces, and their two wedge bots. Next, we have the debut of Shred It Bro and that nasty drum spinner. And then last but not least, we have the debut of a robot who might be a rookie to this competition, but it already has a huge history on this channel. The Flipper bot, Tang. Quite a few big names returning for another season, as well as multiple rookie contenders who are sure to give the veterans a lot of trouble and give them some huge obstacles in order to keep them from getting to the grand final. Let's get to all the action and start talking about the first match of the episode. To lead off of the episode, we'll have a fight between Drizzle and Pixel Hunter, a battle between a Bugglebots contender and a King of Bots contender. So on the left side, we got Drizzle. Has not had the strongest run in War Machines so far. In for 2 seasons, lost both their opening round matchups and was eliminated in the first round. So that does not mean that Drizzle is no slouch of a contender though, because that vertical spinner is absolutely a dangerous weapon and a force to be reckoned with. However, their opponent, rookie contender Pixel Hunter, that horizontal spinner, pretty well known to be having an effective horizontal spinner, but I imagine they're going to want to keep Drizzle away from those exposed areas as much as possible. So this one's probably going to be a driving match between these two, where Pixel Hunter is probably going to be trying to avoid those exposed areas on Drizzle, take advantage of their stability. Regardless, I am very excited for this match. We got two big weapons about to go in the arena with each other, and let's go ahead and get to this match. Time for this match to begin. Drizzle, a little bit of a box rush in a way, meeting Pixel Hunter in the middle, but then taking some hits like that one right there that sends Drizzle into the corner, and now a big weapon on weapon shot that knocks both bots off balance, and Pixel Hunter gets a little side swipe in that knocks Drizzle off balance once again. Here, quite a bit of action from both robots, both those spinners early on, quite a few pieces flying off too nonetheless. A lot of them being Drizzles, like that armor panel right there that just got ripped off of the front of Pixel Hunter. Pixel Hunter off balance. Can Drizzle take advantage? Yes, they can! That was a huge hit by Drizzle right there, sending Pixel Hunter who knows how many feet in the air. One of the, probably the highest a robot has flown so far this season so far. I see a piece right there. It's like Pixel Hunter lost a bit of that spinner right there after hitting the floor so many times with that spinner. Good fight between these two. Now Drizzle with a couple shots to the backside right there. Pixel Hunter struggling with stability themselves in this one. Not the weakness I was expecting this robot to have here. Regardless, this has been a good fight so far. A couple more nice shots from the spinner on Drizzle to the back sides and the underside of Pixel Hunter. And now part of the side armor just came off of Pixel Hunter. Drizzle really starting to come back on points, getting some big time damage points, and some of those that can be crucial for a robot designed like Drizzle. that goes for big time damage with the vertical spinner. Pixel Hunter struggling with the off balance of their weapon right there. It seems like they're having a little bit of trouble driving, but they sure were able to knock Drizzle off balance there regardless. So Drizzle's stability problems in full effect here, but they are still landing some pretty powerful punches in this one. What a fight we are seeing. A little over a minute left to go in this match, and hard to tell who's winning. It's been very back and forth. Nice weapon-on-weapon shot, but Pixel Hunter is on control board damage. Something to keep an eye on here. And Drizzle going up the wall and lands an overhead shot. What a maneuver from Drizzle to get the KO. What an opening round match between these two robots. Very back and forth. Lots of action from both robot spinners. Quite a bit of weapon-on-weapon action. And most importantly, quite a lot of damage was caused in this match. And then we had this huge hit from Drizzle. Probably one of the biggest hits of the entire season so far, I imagine. Doesn't get any better than that. Drizzle started to really control the match a bit more after Pixel Hunter spinner got damaged partway into the match. And then eventually it led to some control board damage onto Pixel Hunter before Drizzle managed to come in with the vertical spinner on a pretty funny aerial attack in order to finish off the robot. It was a great win by Drizzle. Great first win in War Machines. You will see Pixel Hunter in the redemption round, but before we get to that, we have a match between the former runner-up, Cobalt, and that nasty vertical spinner, who's going to be taking on rookie BattleBots contender Double Tap with their unique horizontal spinner setup. So yeah, we know Cobalt pretty well. Deadly vertical spinner. They've had two very deep runs in War Machines so far, and of course they'll be hoping to get one step further this season where they hope to raise the title. Standing in their way first is Double Tap, a rookie to War Machines with a unique horizontal spinner setup, and they'll be looking to use that to their advantage while also avoiding getting scooped up by Cobalt, so that way they can avoid the vertical spinner and avoid getting inverted by that thing. We'll see if Double Tap can succeed at that and pull off a major upset, because I think it's time to get to that match. Time for this match to begin. Cobalt coming in, huge hit right off the back. That was a perfect box rush by Cobalt, and now they have Double Tap in the corner. Cobalt's goal seems to be lead with those piano keys, let the piano keys take the brunt to the impact first, and then deliver that robot into the spinner. So far it's working out pretty well, because Double Tap's already got some pieces flying off in this one. Cobalt all over Double Tap early on in this one. 30 seconds in, Double Tap spinner is already damaged pretty badly. Double Tap needs to get out of there and find a reposition themselves, but Cobalt is just all over them. Cobalt is back, and Cobalt is back with a vengeance here. And Double Tap is their first victim, as we just saw right there, Cobalt delivering the devastating KO. That fight could not have gone any better for Cobalt. All over Double Tap right from the start, showing that that robot is faster, way more aggressive, and they just did not give Double Tap a chance in this one. So Double Tap just never really got going in this one. Wasn't able to evade that nasty vertical spinner like they needed to in this one. And Cobalt was able to just deliver that spinner time and time again and managed to deliver the KO in not even a minute. What a victory by Cobalt, and definitely can't wait to see how far this robot goes this time around. So for our next match, we have a veteran to War Machines Breaker Box, who is going to be taking on the first cluster bot to make its appearance this season. We have Rust in Pieces, two little wedge robots from Bugglebots. So yeah, we got a very similar style battle here. We have two robots that are going to look to try to control the other in this match. Whether it's Breaker Box with that lifter, or Rust in Pieces with those two little wedge robots there that they look to use to annoy and overwhelm whoever their opponent is. So yeah, I think this one obviously is just going to come down to who can control the match better than the other. Breaker Box might be the bigger robot, but rest in pieces. You don't want to underestimate those little guys. I'm sure Minotaur did last season, even though they did happen to win that match against them by judge's decision. Regardless, I'm excited for it, so let's go ahead and get on to that match. Time for this match to begin. Here comes the little robots in rest in pieces. Breakerbox mistiming a lift on the white and black rust in pieces bot there, and now the other one trying to get in on the action here. Always the hard part with cluster bots is you can always face one of them, but then leave your other sides exposed to the other one. That's what makes rust in pieces so annoying on this channel. Now, they seem to have the lower ground between the two of them. They are so far, these two robots are so far out wedging Breakerbox, which is probably what they need to do in this one, because Breakerbox has an actual, like, working weapon, basically, with that lifter. But so far, Breakerbox hasn't had a chance to use it, because these two little robots just keep out wedging Breakerbox so far. So we're almost a minute in so far, and, yeah, so far Rust in Peace is the cluster bot. We're just overwhelming Breakerbox and so far. One of the Rust in Peace bots knocked off balance as Breakerbox is trying to self-right, and they finally do so. Now their lifter is right side up, where it will be most effective in a match like this one. But they gotta start winning the ground game. One of the Rust in Pieces bots went flying over the top of Breakerbox, while the other one now underneath Breakerbox, high centering the robot. Some excellent control from the little robots. Great coordination so far. Near miss right there from Breakerbox, almost getting one of the cluster robots in the air. So, and now Breakerbox continuing to go flying over the top once again. And those robots just so effective. Breakerbox with a little lift right there, and there's a lift on one of them right in the corner. And now Rust in Peace is back to work here, but taking the other into the rails as Breakerbox getting another lift in there. So Breakerbox now finally starting to get some action with that lifter. This is pretty much what Breakerbox was needing to do in order to turn this match around. We have a little less than a minute to go. Breakerbox obviously starting to crawl back on points here, but still, those two robots just so effective in this one. Like, how do you fight these two robots, especially when you're a control bot like Breakerbox? It's difficult for sure. So Breakerbox going flying over the top of both Rust in Pieces bots again, and a mislift right there. So, and the other one just went crashing right into a wall there, and now Breakerbox just went flying over that Rust in Pieces bot into a wall. Interesting fight, very tactical control bot match that we've been seeing in this one. Nice lift from Breakerbox. That's probably the best moment of the match so far, what Breakerbox managed to do to one of those little robots. Less than 10 seconds to go. It is looking like we are going to have a judge's decision between these two, as I expected. But great fight between these two. That was an awesome fight to watch, especially it was so much fun watching those little cluster bots just go at it with Breakerbox in this one. It was clearly Breakerbox was pretty overwhelmed early in this match, not to mention Rust in Pieces was clearly the lower to the ground bot during most of these exchanges. Yeah. Breakerbox was struggling to get underneath Rust in Pieces early on, and so Rust in Pieces did control the brunt of the match because of it. But Breakerbox, they were able to get that lifter involved partway into that match, where they did have some solid control moments of their own, even if some of those attacks that they managed to land on Rust in Pieces weren't exactly because of the lifter. Regardless, I think Breakerbox, they might have had fewer landed attacks in this one compared to Rust in Pieces, but they did have some of the more effective attacks between the two of them through the power of that lifter, so I think this could be a closer judge's decision than what people imagine. The judges' votes are in, and we have a unanimous decision. The winner is Rust in Pieces. I gotta say, I probably agreed with that judge's decision, because while Breakerbox did have, I think, the more effective moments through the use of that lifter, I think Rust in Pieces dictated the pace of that match. It was able to do enough to win more control, aggression, and weapon effectiveness points in order to seal the victory. Great match regardless, we'll see Rest in Peace in the next round. We'll see Breaker Box in the Redemption Rumbles. Let's get on to the next match. So for the next match in this episode, we have a battle between two rookies to this season of War Machines. We have Shred It Bro with that powerful drum spinner from BattleBots, who will be taking on Tank, a flipper bot from King of Bots. Definitely, if you ever want to battle between offense and defense, I think this is definitely a perfect example of that. Because we got Shred It Bro with a very powerful drum spinner up against Tank, a flipper bot who's pretty well armored and hard to knock out. So I imagine if Shred Bro can break those defenses of Tank, they've certainly got this one in the bag. But if Tank can keep Shred Bro off balance and prevent them from doing as much damage as possible, I think this is Tank's fight to win. I think this will be an excellent time to put it right here, and let's go ahead and get to this fight. Time for this match to begin. Tank with a major charge. Looks like they were going to try to box rush Shred It Bro, get Shred It Bro off balance before Shred It Bro could get that drum spinner up to speed, and they just missed right there. Noticing a little bit of gyroing right there. Unusual how fast Tank is. That's pretty awesome to see regardless. We always love to see robots with good speed. Shred It Bro dodges another rush by Tank, and Tank is on their side right now. Can Tank get free? Looks like that flipper is not able to help Tank right themselves here, so Tank could be in trouble. Shred It Bro trying to help him out, landing a couple more shots at the top here, but all this has really done is just left Tank exposed to that drum spinner. Tank continuing to receive help from Shred It Bro, but so far it's not working out right now. Tank is going to need to get off their side, get themselves righted, because these are 3 points that Shred It Bro is getting right here. If this match was to go to the judges, Shred It Bro absolutely is dominating at the moment. Now Tank is free, right side up. Now we do see a little bit of smoke coming out of Tank right there. Shred It Bro did get some good hits on the underside, so they might have penetrated something there. Tank continue to get underneath, but where's that flipper there? We haven't seen them land even one flip so far in this match. They've gotten underneath Shred It Bro and been able to push them around, invert them a couple times, but not a lot of damage has been caused. Tank back on their side once again. And now Shred It Bro laying a couple more shots at that drum spinner here. But Tank just needs to get off their side once again, get re-inverted here for this one. And now Shred It Bro taking Tank into the corner. One of the biggest moments of the match so far. Shred It Bro is continuing to give Tank just a tour of the arena, basically. So, but yeah, this has just not been going well for Tank, just because they haven't been able to stay off their sides. Tank is being counted out right now, as they probably should. Is this going to be the end for Tank? And it is. The judges have had enough. So yeah, Tank definitely no problem with controlling Shred It Bro, but only when they were right side up. There were a couple of very key driving errors that Tank made that put themselves right on their sides, their backside, and so on, and they just could not get free from that without the help of Shred It Bro, who helped them out a couple of times throughout the match and helped them get re-inverted once, get flipped right side up, but like, it definitely didn't help Tank that much, because they eventually got inverted once again. Tank definitely showed that they absolutely have ground game and are able to push around their opponents, but we didn't see that flipper even once in this match, and the fact that they spent most of this fight on their side, definitely something to watch. Definitely a disappointing performance by Tank, but we'll see them in the redemption round. Hopefully it changes. So now we got a highlighted match for you, and it is between the other clusterbot in this group, Jaeger, who is going to be taking on Red from the Flames, a spike flamethrower robot from King of Bots. So Jaeger, who was only able to go with 2 out of 3 of their robots due to weight reasons, went with their hammer saw and their drum spinner for this match. However, a lot of this match they spent getting bodied by Red from the Flames, who obviously had ground game advantage and superior control. Neither robot from Jaeger was really able to get going in this one, as well as there being some really bad team coordination between the two of them, and that led Red from the Flames to an easy judge's decision victory. So for our last match in the opening round of this group, we have a battle between two pretty big names in BattleBots. We have Deathroll taking on Glitch, two vertical spinners. Well, Glitch is technically an egg beater. While Glitch is definitely a rookie to War Machines, Deathroll, this is their third season, so they are a pretty big veteran to this competition. A 5-4 record, with their best run being a top 16 run in the very first season. Deathroll pretty well known for reach. Glitch has quite a bit of ground game on them. So two pretty differently designed verts here. So this is gonna come down to whether reach or ground game will help the other out most, as well as probably their own durability too. So regardless, I think this is going to be an explosive match that is almost certainly going to end in a KO. So I think we should go ahead and get to this matchup. Time for this match to begin. Both weapons getting up to full speed. A little bit of weapon-on-weapon action with Deathroll's been popped into the air. And Glitch landing a couple hard shots onto the top of Deathroll. And I see part of the self-rider broke right there. Glitch all over Deathroll, but now both bots are flipped over. And I saw a tire or something fly out. I think it was a piece of Deathroll, but it might have been a piece of Glitch. Who knows? So now, a little more weapon-on-weapon action between these two. Deathroll needs to navigate around to the sides of the backside of Glitch, because head-on has not seemed to be working for them. A couple little shots there, but now Deathroll getting the worst of the exchanges again, and I see parts of the vertical spinner have gone flying, and Deathroll is in trouble.
Knockout!
What a debut from Glitch here. So we saw a lot of head-on action between these two robots, and it definitely worked in the favor of Glitch, showing that, like in BattleBots, ground game tends to be really important. So yeah, both robots did have some balance problems, but it was Deathroll, while they did manage to get some good shots in, who was on the losing end of most of these exchanges, constantly knocked off balance by Glitch, until Glitch was able to disable Deathroll for good. A great win by Glitch, and it'll be interesting to see what the future is like going forward for them in this competition. So now that we're done with the opening round, it is time for the Redemption Rumbles. And in this first set of Redemption Rumbles, we have BreakerBox, Jaeger, and Pixel Hunter. So, BreakerBox, with a little bit of loss to the overwhelming Clusterbot team of Rust and Pieces. Then Jaeger, who wasn't really able to get going in the match with Red from the Flames. And then Pixel Hunter, who lost in a heated battle with Drizzle that was very oddly close. So, yeah, I think there are a lot of factors that this could come down to, but regardless, I'm very excited for this one. We got three very unique robots here that all have different strengths, different weaknesses. It'll be interesting to see how all three of these robots strategize for the other. Regardless, I'm looking forward to it, so let's go ahead and get going with this matchup. Time for this match to begin. 4 robots in the arena at once for this Redemption Rumble. We see one of the Jaeger robots as well as BreakerBox and Pixel Hunter going at it. See, Jaeger went with the same strategy, the same 2 robots that it went with in their opening round match. Hopefully they have better control of their robots this time. So far, the Hammersaw robot seems to be doing quite a bit to BreakerBox right there, while Drum Spinner and Pixel Hunter kind of going at it right there. Pixel Hunter kind of spinning in place. Pixel Hunter getting a good hit on the Drum Spinner, and that good hit on the other Jaeger robot right there. So, quite a bit of action from all 3 robots, because we see BreakerBox getting a couple lifts. Now Pixel Hunter was underneath. Now some of the Jaeger bots attacking BreakerBox. So lots of action, primarily I think from Pixel Hunter and Jaeger so far to start this match here in the first minute. Both of those robots just eager for that victory, for that semifinal spot. But this is going to be a hard fight for quite a few of these robots. So, yeah, BreakerBox needs trying to self-right right there, but now they have a Jaeger bot underneath them. These Jaeger robots definitely becoming definitely a bit more of a nuisance than they were in the Red from the Flames fight. So, definitely some great improvement from them. So, halfway through this match here, and it's very hard to keep track of everything. That's what I got. That's all I gotta say here with all of this stuff going on. So right now we see kind of a bunch of one-on-one matchups. Jaeger just going after both robots here, and yeah, see if Geese of Breaker Box's plow just came off there. They're from Pixel, from the Jaeger Hammer Saw bot. Huge hit right there, and that Jaeger Drum Spinner has been lost, and now it's trying to attack the sides of Pixel Hunter. We just see lots of one-on-one matchups, like we see Breaker Box just getting a lift on the Hammer Saw bot on Jaeger, and now backing underneath is that Jaeger bot once again. So, man, as a solo commentator here, it's very hard keeping track of a fight like this, where there's just two one-on-one matchups going. It's difficult, because like when you watch one fight, watch one bit, then there's something else happening in the other corner. So Breaker Box just lost a wheel, courtesy of, I don't see who that was. I want to say that was Pixel Hunter, but that might have been the other Jaeger robot. So, less than 30 seconds to go. This has been a pretty close and definitely an action-packed match here between three great robots. And are we going to be on the path to a three-way judges decision? 10 seconds left on the clock. It sure is looking like it. It's sure looking like for this Redemption Rumble, we are going to have a judges decision. And that is now confirmed. So, who are the judges going to choose in this one? There was a lot of action from honestly all three robots in this Rumble. Breaker Box was getting some pretty nice lifts. Pixel Hunter got some decent shots in on both robots. But then Jaeger, there were moments where those two robots were just single-handedly controlling Pixel Hunter and Breaker Box. Which is why I think they're probably my pick to win this judge's decision right now. But you never know, because Pixel Hunter did land a bunch of devastating damage shots, making me think they're probably the other robot in the running for winning this judge's decision. But we'll have to see what the judges had to say, because absolutely there were a lot of great moments in this fight. This was a great action-packed filled match. So let's find out what the judges had to say. So the judges' votes are in, and we have a unanimous decision. The winner, advancing to the next round, is Jaeger! Yeah, so, as I mentioned in the replay section, Jaeger was probably my prediction to win this whole thing. This was a lot better of a performance from Jaeger than what we saw in their match with Red from the Flames. Great win by them, and we'll see Jaeger in the next round. We'll have to see who they draw for it. But now we have one last Redemption Rumble, and it is between Death Roll, Double Tap, and Tank. So, Death Roll and Double Tap both fell at the hands of devastating and destructive defeats in the hands of Glitch and Cobalt. And then the other side, we got Tank, who struggled in their match with Shredded Pro, which eventually led to their defeat in that one. So, all three of these robots, definitely big-time contenders for that spot. Going to be fighting as hard as the last three did. So, yeah, I expect Death Roll is probably the big favorite to win this match, at least from a fight card standpoint. But you never know, because Double Tap and Tank could easily hold something off here and manage to disable the Killer Croc and be able to punch their ticket into the semifinal. Regardless, I am very excited for this match, so I think let's go ahead and get to the closing match of the episode. Time for this match to begin. Tank with an early charge and knocking the Killer Croc off balance. Huge hit by Double Tap right into Death Roll's frame right there. But what about Tank? Tank is stuck on their backside once again. And now Death Roll and Double Tap just going at it here. Death Roll has Double Tap off balance, has Double Tap right where Death Roll wants them. And Death Roll just laying some shots with the vertical spinner. Tank trying to get free, but trying to reinvert themselves, but just not working out for that robot. Death Roll coming in, wants to lend Tank a hand, and Tank is up right now, and Death Roll lands a huge hit on Tank, but now Tank underneath, and we see the flipper for the very first time this season. So in that match with Shred, bro, we didn't get to see Tank even use that flipper once in that match. And we just got to see it land a flip on Deathroll. But Tank just flipped themselves over. Deathroll and Double Tap just continuing to go at it there. And Tank trying to self-right, but struggling to do so. And Double Tap trying to help Tank out. They do so. We'll have to find out whether that was a mistake or not. But yeah, and Tank lands another flip on Deathroll, knocking the Killer Croc off balance, showing that their ground game can really help them in a fight like this. Big hit right there that knocks Double Tap off balance, and then Deathroll attacks Tank once again, knocking them off balance. Saw a huge piece fly off that I think was part of Double Tap's spinner. But now Deathroll's spinner had just taken a chunk out of it. Tank is being counted out right now, and yeah, Deathroll and Double Tap just continue to clash it out, and Tank has been counted out, meaning this is now a 2-robot melee between Deathroll and Double Tap for this last semifinal spot. And right now it's looking like Deathroll definitely the leader on points in this match. So yeah, Double Tap needs to turn this match around and fast. Time for this match to resume. So, and Deathroll with an early shot to knock Double Tap off balance. Deathroll just continue to be on top of the horizontal spinner bot, showing that that horizontal spinner is not a threat to that robot. Deathroll executing a perfect strategy, like even in the first part of this match right there, continuing to knock their opponents off balance and just establishing dominance, establishing their veteran status to this competition. So yeah, Deathroll just continuing to drive a perfect match in this one, and just not giving Double Tap any room to breathe, any room to respond back with some major shots of their own. Now, Double Tap manages to invert Deathroll, but then Deathroll able to self-right pretty cleanly. So yeah, not a lot that Double Tap has really been able to do in this one. It's just been all Deathroll for the most part. Well, Double Tap just got a couple shots in there, but Deathroll just not at all phased by it. So, we got a huge havoc right there that sends Deathroll near the ceiling. Always entertaining to see regardless. So, and another huge hit that knocks both robots off balance, and Double Tap capitalizes on it. Manages to land a hit there, but Deathroll just continue to be unfazed, showing that that robot is an absolute tank. Huge hit right there, and more pieces of probably Double Tap's spinner just went flying off in that one. And yeah, Deathroll just continuing to stack up the points here. Double Tap's been hanging in there pretty well so far.
Knockout!
It wasn't perfect, but it was certainly a great win by the veteran robot Deathroll in this one. The favorite to win this fight, surely. Because they were able to knock Tank off balance sometimes, knock Double Tap off balance, and then just land devastating shot after devastating shot with that vertical spinner until both robots were officially disabled once and for all. Deathroll just showed that while they might not have ground game, reach is certainly a major strength for that Killer Croc, and it sure paid off for the most part in this match. Once Tank got knocked out, and it ended up being down to just Deathroll and Double Tap, Deathroll just continued to dictate the pace of this match, box rush Double Tap as much as possible, keep that robot from getting up to full speed, and that was their ultimate formula to victory. Great win by Deathroll, who has secured the final spot in next week's semifinal. So yeah, that'll do it for all the action in this episode. Before we close out this episode, let's go ahead and reveal the bracket for next week. And here is the bracket for next week, featuring the 8 robots from this group who are going to fight it out for a spot in the grand final bracket style. So on the left side, we got Glitch, who looked just absolutely devastating in their match with Deathroll. Their opponent will be the clusterbot of Jaeger. It'll be interesting to see what kind of tactics we see from that clusterbot team when they take on the vicious Egg Beater. Then right down below, we got our Bugglebots showdown between Grizzle and Rust in Pieces, 2 robots who looked very good in their opening round match today. Then over on the other side, we have a vertical spinner battle that did happen in BattleBots. Cobalt and Death Roll, one of the most ultimate battles of ground game versus Reach. We'll see if that ends the same way it did in BattleBots, or if the Killer Croc can snag victory. Then right down below, an interesting battle where we have the King of Bots, Control Bot, Red from the Flames, who looked great in their match, who will be taking on Shred It Bro. So yeah, lots of interesting matchups are on the way. Be sure to comment down below with your predictions for who you think is going to be the one to win 3 matches and clinch that spot in the grand final. I think this will be an awesome episode to see. Cannot wait to check out to see what kind of fights we get out of this. So I think that'll do it for this episode then. We got a lot of great action out of it, and surely lots more is coming along the way. Be sure to tune in next time, and I'll hopefully see you then.